Yes, all right, guys. Good morning. Welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. Welcome back, lads. My name is Cossy, back early in the morning to discuss Arsenal news and transfer news. Definitely the latest around Arsenal. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you are in all parts of the world. It depends on the time zone, and I said I will greet you. I do greet you depending on your time zone. Obviously, we do have a couple of stories to discuss as usual. Emil Smith want to get a new shirt number, either 8 or 10. We are gonna discuss that. I talked about yesterday when I was reacting to James Maddison being offered shirt number 10 at Arsenal. And many people actually attacked me and said, because it should be Madison that takes that shirt number 10. It should not be Emil Smith Rowe. So probably we're gonna discuss that. Emil Smith Rowe given a new shirt number that has not been revealed as yet. Very, very soon it should be revealed though. Ben White, Madison, Neves, Arsenal to raid the Premier League for the first time, signing 150 million deals in the Premier League. What are the advantages? What are disadvantages? Why have we decided to go for the Premier League? We have just changed our scout in charge of the league, in charge of the local market, and now we are actually eyeing a 150 million euro, million pound bid for three Premier League players. What does that mean? Do you think, in the comments, I've asked you a question, do you think Arsenal should sign players from the Premier League, or do you think we should sign players from abroad, from Italy, from France, from Germany, and a couple of other countries? Manuel Lacotelli has been speaking about his future, tweeted by Fabrizio Romano. I'll be doing that, and as well as interested in the signature of old sensational Spanish player Isco. We're gonna discuss that and more. Do smash a like on the video. Do subscribe to the channel as well. Let's do this and get into the party. Yes, guys, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. Let's get the party started. Start off with Emil Smith Rowe. Now, it's reported, yesterday it was reported that Emil Smith Rowe will actually get a new squad number after Arsenal goalkeeper, one of the young goalkeepers, taking up his shirt number, which has been shirt number 32. So we expect Emil Smith Rowe to get a new shirt number. There's so many questions around what shirt number is going to be putting on. Many people and many outlets and many reports saying he could be getting shirt number 10 on Arsenal, and many outlets still saying it could be shirt number 8. So it's either 8 or 10. Which shirt number, for me, is the question. Which shirt number would you give to Emil Smith Rowe? In my opinion, actually, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again. If in terms of negotiation, as a tool for negotiation, it's a very good tool for Madison to get Madison. If you're giving him the iconic shirt number 10. But also, Emil Smith Rowe is delaying to sign. If I was talking to Emil Smith Rowe and showing him how significant he is at this Arsenal side, I would give him that shirt number 10. I would act, because I think, in my opinion, if you give a player like if you give a player like James Maddison shirt number 11, he would take it. If you give him shirt number 10, he would take it as well. Smith Rowe, just as a young player, just as interesting as he has been last summer, I think he deserves it. I think he deserves a remarkable shirt number. Probably you could give him that 8. Probably you could give him that 10. And I'll be very, very, I'll be very well with it. Just like we gave Saka shirt number 7, and it was really interesting because after the back, after the back of a very good campaign, doing so well, Arsenal decided to give Bukayo Saka that shirt number, that shirt number 7. At first, I was a little bit skeptical about it, but then after, I was like, right, you know what? I think he deserves it. I think he deserves it. He's done, he's done a lot, and we have actually seen what he's done with that shirt number 7. There's a way. A player gets that confidence. It's the way it's gonna bolster his confidence and add something to him. So would you give Emil Smith Rowe shirt number 8? Would you give him shirt number 10? That's the big question on the show. Obviously, in the chat, there's a big question in the on the vote. So please make sure you do vote on our poll. Is it Premier League players for you, Arsenal, that the Arsenal should sign, or should we go out to sign players from abroad? That's the big question, and that takes me to our main topic today. This early morning, Arsenal eyeing a 150 transfer deal for Mikel Arteta for Ben White, James Maddison, and Ruben Neves. Yesterday, I told you, and it's so interesting how some people that do not have actual information come and say, wow, Cossy, stop saying this, it's not true. Guys, I told you, if you want to get the right news, you've got to be very, very researchful. If you're not researchful, social media and blogs, you never get the stories. You never get them. So yesterday, Football.London and Code Offside wrote the story as in intensified talks to get Ruben Neves, and of course the price around £35 million is believed to be agreed, and it will be just enough to get the Premier League Wolves maestro in the midfield. Still, this week, FC Bell came out and told us that it is going to be very, 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 very soon. They asked to take in a bid for Maddison. Around 60 million euros could also be the money that could actually make this deal happen as well. Ben White, yesterday, it was according to was it according to Dimasio? I think it was Dimasio. I did retweet that on my Twitter handle though, and they were saying Arsenal is confident of completing the Ben White deal at least late this week, before the player can actually go into resting and holidays with with the England team and things like that. And that's where I picked that is where I picked the headline for today's story. Look, Maddison is 60 million, probably, or right, 60 and above. But I'd value him at 60 million because when the last time we voted on the channel, most of us actually agreed that we should buy Maddison at 60 million pounds. Ruben Neves is 35 million pounds. That makes it 95. And then Ben White is actually 55 million pounds. That makes it 150 million pounds. Mikel Arteta is ready to raid the Premier League after Arsenal changing their local market scout. We are now ready to raid Premier League clubs to get in quality. And I've been thinking about it closely. And then I looked at the likes of Liverpool. Liverpool, they have had 3 or 4 consecutive good seasons. Good consecutive seasons. And if you look at the number of players they have got from the Premier League, they have Salah, he's from the Premier League. They have Jota, he is from the Premier League. They have Jadon Henderson from the Premier League. They have Gigi Wijnaldum. They signed him. They had Gigi Wijnaldum because now he's at PSG. But they signed him from Newcastle as well. They had Virgil van Dijk, one of the best defenders in the world. Still, they signed him from the Premier League. And then it made some sense for me. If you look at the Chelsea side that won the Champions League, they have Ben Chilwell. He comes from the Premier League. I mean, they have N'Golo Kante. He comes from the Premier League as well. So maybe there is something about Premier League players. And if you look at us, when Arsenal last had a formidable force with players from the Premier League, when did we last sign good players from the Premier League? It's taken some time now. Ramsey from Cardiff, I think that is that is not even Premier League. Premier League. You have Rob Holding from Bolton, not Premier League. You have Callum Chambers. Yeah, you have Callum Chambers signing from Southampton, right? Then how many players actually do play for this Arsenal side and are from the Premier League? But I've been trying to compare us to clubs like Manchester United, because if you look at United, almost their back 4 is from the Premier League. Luke Shaw from Southampton, Aaron Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace, Harry Maguire from Leicester City as well. I mean, it makes some sense. It really makes some sense. So now, eventually, Arsenal have decided to go with to go back to the roots and sign players from the Premier League. What do you think about that? Do you think it will be money well spent to get 150 million pounds and spend them on 3 players because they are coming from the Premier League? It's a very big question, because if you look at Arsenal and the Premier League players we've had in the past 5 years, really, I don't remember Arsenal really buying Premier League players. Of course, you can think about the likes of William Gallas. Those ones, William Gallas coming from Chelsea, Sol Campbell coming from Tottenham Hotspur as well. Who else? I mean, this Arsenal side has not really been buying so many players. Of course, Mikel Arteta from Everton, can't forget that. Yossi Benayoun as well. I think it was a loan deal from Chelsea back then. I mean, we've not really been. You have the likes of Matteo Debuchy from Newcastle, but we have not engaged ourselves in getting in beautiful players from Premier League sides. I mean, Sol Campbell, Sol Campbell was a good player. That one is okay. Mikel Arteta was a very good player as well. So that one is okay as well. But the rest of the players, I mean, we've been linked with players like Fabian Ruiz, Fulham, and he never went down. We've been linked with so many good players. The likes of Sissoko before he went to Tottenham Hotspur. At Newcastle, I think he had a decent season there in the Euros when they lost to Portugal. That was the summer when we wanted him. I think Newcastle were just relegated then. I mean, we've been linked to so many Premier League players, but the truth is, Arsenal has not been buying Premier League players, and maybe that is something we are lacking. Maybe there is something we are lacking, by not signing Premier League players. Maybe they have some nutrients. Maybe they have some ingredients they could add to our side, and we've been lacking this. So let's get into it. Why should Arsenal buy Premier League players, and why should we not buy Premier League players? That is going to be the big debate. Why should we spend 150 million pounds on Maddison, Neves, and Ben White, despite the fact that in Ben White you could get a cheaper defender. You obviously you have a William Saliba who's always who's so decent for just 27 million pounds. You have a Gabriel Magalhaes coming in from France for just 22 to 25 million pounds as well. So if you think about it, why are these players so expensive? That's the question. Getting in a Maddison, you'd get in someone like maybe a Julian Brandt. United actually signed Bruno Fernandes for around 47 or 48 million pounds or million euros, and he's doing so well at the club. Where you get Ruben Neves at 35 million pounds, you could actually get a player like Bakary Somare. You could actually get a bargain like Houssem Aouar. You could get a bargain at you could get so many players at very, very cheaper prices than players in the Premier League. So what is so special about players in the Premier League, and maybe why is Mikel Arteta and the Arsenal governing committee, why have they decided to go for players in the Premier League? Do smash a like on the video, do subscribe to the channel, and of course turn on the notification bell. But tell me deep down in the comment section, is it Premier League proven players that will get Arsenal back to top? Because for me, that is all I care about. That is what it's all I want from Arsenal. It's all I want us to do. Get players that can actually play in the Premier League. Get players that can actually, get us back to where we are supposed to be. Right. So let's get into it. What do you get by signing in Premier League proven players? I think one is the Premier League. It's tenacity. It's basics, it's dynamics. It's a very hard league. We've got to accept that. We've got to think about it. It's a very hard league. Yeah, there's so many players who have come to this league and made it an absolute joke. The likes of Vidinazar, the likes of Santi Cazorla, the likes of Robin van Persie. They have come to this league and they have flourished. The likes of Alexis Sanchez, they didn't take a lot of time. For Robin van Persie, if it's not for the injury, I also think Robin van Persie doesn't take a lot of time. The likes of Just Fabregas, There's those kind of players. But there's so many players that have actually struggled to get into the Premier League. Nicola Pepe is one of them. And many people will still say Pepe is not worth the 72 million pounds that the Arsenal signed him for. He's actually not worth that. Yeah, maybe you could say right. You're right. And maybe you could be wrong because, at the end of last season, we are seeing a different Pepe. The problem for me is how he adapts, when he adapts, and how much time he takes to adapt. So the Premier League is a difficult league. You've got to agree to this. Very, very difficult. And players that are proven in the league, you've got to give them respect. Loads and loads of respect. Partey is a very good player. You're seeing him really, really struggle to fit into the Premier League. It's becoming so difficult for him to fit into the league. And you can see the quality of Thomas Partey is undisputed, absolutely undisputed. One of those best players that Arsenal has ever signed for me is Partey. The quality he's got is really, really undisputed in that midfield. So one of the things you've got, you get in signing Premier League proven players. One, you're signing players that do not need to adjust to a new league. And that is the beauty with it. James Maddison has played with Leicester City for around 3 seasons. He doesn't need to adapt to the Premier League. Ruben Neves, the same story. He's played at Wolves for 3 seasons. He doesn't really need to adapt to the league. The same thing with look, for Ben White, he's only played one season, right? And that could be a point of argument that Ben White has actually only played 1 season in the Premier League. So we really can't say he's adapted. He's gone this far. Maybe we are not at level. Maybe we are not at that state of saying Ben White has actually adapted to the Premier League. But at least he's played 46 games down in the Championship, and he's also played 36 games in the Premier League. What that shows me, is he is a player that actually has, he's got minutes. It's not a new league. The only thing he has, he's got to do is adapt from Brighton to Arsenal, because they are 2 different clubs at different levels. Ruben Neves adapt from make that switch from Wolves to Arsenal. You become an Arsenal player. You become a big team player. You become a top 4 challenger. You become a title contender. That is the only thing you have. But adapting to the league, it is. It's no work because they have already been here. And the reason as why it's a big issue for players to adapt to the Premier League or signing in players that do have that experience in the Premier League. Don't get me wrong. The likes of Paul Pogba, the likes of Bruno, the likes of Aubameyang, they've come from outside leagues and they've done so well. But the point I'm trying to drive at is the basics of the Premier League, the dynamics of the league are so different, are so difficult. One, the speed and tempo of the games is very different. Look, last season, Leeds were promoted into the Premier League, and look at the kind of football they displayed. Very fast football, attacking football, open football. They scored as many goals as they could. So that is what I'm talking about. If you bring in a new player from France, where they have 4 big teams, Lyon, Marseille, Lille, and probably PSG, it's gonna look at it's gonna be so different, very different, because in the Premier League every game matters and every game is a big game. How many points did we collect against Brighton last season? 1 point like this. How many? 1 point? No, not really 1 point. Sorry, I meant Burnley. 1 point against Burnley last season. 1 point. Brighton. I think we collected a couple of points from Brighton, but how many points did we collect against Leeds? We didn't beat them. However big we are, we didn't beat them home and away. How many points did we collect against Aston Villa last season? We lost an embarrassing 3-0. Was it 3-1 or 3-0? Right? And then as well, I think we didn't get any. Did we get any points against Aston Villa last season? I think we didn't. And that is the beauty, and that is how difficult the Premier League is. It is full of jeopardy. It is full of surprises. It is full of it's full of jeopardy. You're gonna lose a game. You could lose 3 games in a row playing Newcastle, Brighton, and Leeds and Burnley, and you collect only 1 or 2 points. In your last 5, and you've not played a member of the top 6. And unlike other leagues, because in Spain they have the big 3 or big 4, if I add Sevilla. In Italy, it's the big 4, I think. Napoli, you have Napoli, Juve, AC, Inter. I mean, and Roma probably as well. But if you look at actually how many sides do have the quality, in that Italian side, in that Italian league, it is Juve, it is AC Milan. Sorry, it is Juve, it's Inter, and Napoli. The rest are trash. In the French League One, that one is in the French League One is PSG. It's a man one. It's one horse race. Last season it was Lille winning the title. It was a big surprise, really big surprise that they actually won the French League One. In Germany, it is 3 now. If it's not Leipzig, it is Dortmund. They're always gonna be either second or third, and of course the team that's always gonna win the league is Bayern. That is why the Premier League is different. In the Premier League, you have United, you have Chelsea, you have Spurs, you have City, you have Leicester City now, you have Arsenal. Those are 6 clubs. You have Everton, 7. So you almost have 8 big clubs in the Premier League. So those are 8 difficult games home and away. When you're playing Everton, the pressure is on. When you're playing Spurs, the pressure is on. When you're playing United, when you're playing City, when you're playing Leicester City, the pressure is on. And that's what you're saying. Many players from other leagues, if you bring in a Timo Werner who's used to scoring 30 goals against the likes of Hamburg SV, the likes of Schalke 04, it's a very different. This is a very, very different league. And I would support the fact that Arsenal is actually deciding to go in for these kind of players that are Premier League proven. That is what you get. They have already adapted the league. They are already there. They have already ripe. That's what you want, in my opinion. That is what you actually want. You want players that are already ripe. You want players that are ready to get to get the party started and play in the league. So that, I think that's the first advantage you get in them. They're already adapted in the league. That is the first thing. The problem with signing Premier League proven players, do smash a like on the video, guys. We are at 28 likes. That is so low. Do smash a like on the video. Let's get them to 40 likes. 20 more likes to get them to 40. Thanks everybody. 20 more likes. Please make sure you smash that like button. So the problem with signing in Premier League players is the money. That's it. It's the money. Whether it is whether the player is English or not, you're going to pay massive amounts of money. Because you're looking at 3 players and you're looking at 150 million pounds. In a normal budget where you're playing, we're buying players from abroad, you're actually going to get these players at less than 100 million. That's what I'm saying. If Madison is not English and is playing at Leverkusen, you're getting him at 40. Ben White, you're getting him at 20 or 25 for me, and you're also getting Ruben Neves at 25. It's around 90 million, less than 100 million. But the reason you're gonna buy them at 150 million is the fact that they come from the Premier League, and that is how difficult it is to buy players from the Premier League. Virgil van Dijk, Harry Maguire, 80 million, 75 million pounds, and now Ben White is 55 million pounds. That is how ridiculous it is to buy players from the Premier League. They are so expensive, very, very expensive. It is the money. It's always got to be the money. But my question on the video is, should we buy players from the Premier League or should we shop from abroad? That is the big question. And like I said, if you shop from abroad, you're saving some money, but there are no guarantees of these players picking up in the league. The tenacity of the league, the speed of the league, how rough the Premier League is, and it doesn't give you time. will these players eventually settle in? If I brought in Emmanuel Locatelli, will he settle in? If I brought in Housem Awa, yes, they are bargains. They are, it's very, very less money. Will they fit in? It's so different from from getting a Ruben Neves who signs from Wolves. It's gonna fit in, definitely. It's gonna fit in the Premier League because he's been here before. So big question: should Arsenal get in players from the Premier League, or should we get in players from other leagues abroad? What are your thoughts on that, and what is your take on that as well? In my opinion, I think we need the mixture. Honestly, I think we need a mixture. There are players like James Maddison. There are players that can only be found in the Premier League. And I don't know if it makes sense when I say that, but they're players that can only be found in the Premier League. And that is one of the things you want to do. A James Maddison, only in the Premier League. I've tried to look around. I've looked at the likes of Maine Solomon. I've looked at the likes of Julian Brandt. I've looked at so many players that can play in that area. But the style of James Maddison can only be found at Leicester City in the Premier League. The likes of Ruben Neves, those ones you can get a couple of them. But again, there is just something about Premier League defenders. Rio Ferdinand, that kind of players. There is something about them. The likes of John Terry, the likes of Harry Maguire. However much many people underrate Harry Maguire, I no longer think he's shit. I no longer think I no longer think he's so poor as a defender. I think United just need to find a right partner. So there is that. It's not so much of quality, but they're those players that have got the character of the Premier League, and you're gonna shop them from the Premier League. Imagine if Arsenal signed in Calvin Phillips today. There are not so many players that have that fighting spirit of the Premier League. And for me, in the Premier League, yes, you need the talent, you need the skills, but you need the character more. And Arsenal lacks that character. We lack the vibe. We lack the fighting spirit. Many players at this football club, when they actually lose a game, when they draw, they celebrate. When they lose a game, they are not concerned. Well, we shall get another win. We shall, we shall get back to winning ways. We shall get another win, right? And that is a big problem, guys. That's a very, very big problem. But if you sign in players from the Premier League, Maddison doesn't want to lose. If you look at how Leicester City fight until the end of the game, maybe it makes some sense. It really makes some sense. So for me, Ben White, one of the reasons I would take him is he is a defender from the EPL, English Premier League. That's one of the reasons I would take him. Otherwise, I would have decided that I would have said no, we shouldn't bring in Ben White, blah blah. But I think because he's a defender from the Premier League, and many defenders from the Premier League have proven to be worth it, I would take him. I would absolutely take him. Honestly, thanks everybody. We've smashed 40 likes, right? Thanks everybody. Let's get them to 60 now. Let's just get 20 people to smash the like button. I really do appreciate you guys being on the shows and speaking to me directly on my numbers. Of course, we are still waiting. We are still looking for a sponsor for our data. My numbers are my numbers are on the screen. Just hit me up on WhatsApp. Just today, if you're just willing to sponsor us for data, just for today, my numbers are on the screen. So right, guys, Arsenal buying in players from the Premier League, it makes much more sense than we actually thought. It makes much more sense. Having a Martin Odegaard at £50 million, I would rather get a James Maddison at £60 million, because for Odegaard, it takes him time to get to know how rough the league is. It takes him time to get to know, wow, this is what I've got to do. I need to be fast. For James Maddison, if you look at all the clips that we played of James Maddison, clips of Ruben Neves, and clips of Ben White, the one thing these players have in common they are not slow players. There are not very many slow players that are so good in this Premier League. There are not so many. Many of them are fast players. Many of them are physical. And I think we lack those players. Last season, one of the things that really was painful in Arsenal, in the way we played football, was our pressing. Very, very bogus. Absolutely poor. And the reason was we played at a very slow pace. Courtesy of Ceballos, courtesy of Granit Xhaka, and courtesy of Mohamed El Neni. Mohamed El Neni is from we bought Mohamed El Neni from Basel, that is Switzerland. Is it Switzerland? Yes, from the Switzerland league. Granit Xhaka is from the German Bundesliga, and where did I say? Dani Ceballos is from the Spanish league, right? If you had a player like if you had just imagine if you had signed a player like N'Golo Kante from Leicester City instead of getting Xhaka, our press wouldn't be that poor. And you hate it in the Arsenal side. Whenever they have the ball, they slow down the pace. You make it easy for the opponent to defend against you, and that's how we were last season. Get the ball, slow down, and wait for King Xhaka, to make his pass. That is so slow. But if you brought in players that actually, of course, it goes. Look, it's not all about buying in players that from the Premier League. You could buy a Charlie Adam, right? You could buy a Charlie Adam. It also goes hand in hand with very good scouting. If you scout good players from the Premier League, you have high chances that these guys are gonna work, and you have high chances that your talent will improve. And when I say Premier League players, I don't mean players that are English. Quote me well. I mean players that are actually absolutely have minutes in the Premier League, whether they're English or not. Neves, I'll take him. He's Portuguese, but I think he does the job. Bissouma does the job as well. He's not English as well. So I don't mean players that are English. I really mean players that are actually from the Premier League. Players that have numbers, on their record, on the Premier League calendar. Those are the players I'm actually talking about. So for me, it's a great step that Arsenal getting around 2 Premier League players, and I'll be absolutely gutted if they're English, because Maddison is English. I would love him to play at Arsenal, as well as Ben White is English as well. And it would be absolutely interesting. So if you have if you have Maddison, you have Emile Smith Rowe, and Ben White, at least you have you have 3 players that can play for that can English represent the English side, as well as Saka. Those are 4. Saka as well. Sorry for forgetting Saka. We talked about much about him yesterday. So 4 players that are English in your squad. What I like about English players, they might not have that talent that is like Brazilian, Spanish, or things like. They might not be so technically gifted, but they have the spirit. That's the first thing you have to know. They never back off, and they are durable. They can play 38 games in a season. That is the good thing about them, with a few exceptions like Jack Wilshere, who's always injured, and his behaviors. But many English players, if you have him in your side, you're gonna have that. The durability and the fighting spirit. Arsenal absolutely doesn't have it. And the other thing you have is the leadership. Absolute leaders, good leaders. Harry Maguire, the moment he arrives at United, he becomes captain, and everybody shouts, "Oh, what has Ole Gunnar Solskjaer done? What has Manchester United done? It is so early for Maguire to become captain." And if you look at that Manchester United side, it is Maguire and Bruno. The rest, there is no leader. In this Arsenal side currently, at the moment, it is Kian Tierney. The rest, we do not have a leader. But if you brought in probably Ben White, you could groom him into a very good centre back and a leader as well. You have Kian Tierney as the leader. One of them should be our leader. One of them should be our captain. Aubameyang, good. He leads by example. I'm not really interested. Not much interested in how Aubameyang runs this shit. Not much interested in it. Not really much interested in it. Right? So in my case, in my opinion, the argument arming is, we had 50 likes. Thanks everybody. I noticed that we had 50 likes. Let's get in 20 more likes, guys. Let's get in 20 more likes, and probably rush to 70, so that we can actually hit our target as soon as possible. So make sure you smash a like on the video and vote. How many votes do we have at the moment? It'll be interesting to see how many votes we have at the moment. We have 68 votes. It's still very low. Please make sure you're voting. Premier League, 76% are saying we should buy Premier League players, and 4% are saying we should buy players from abroad. But then, guys, thanks everybody for getting involved. Make sure you vote. The vote is in the comment section. The first time we voted, actually, we were using my pen and tallies, and many people said, "Cossy, you cheated. Cossy, you cheated for Manuel Locatelli." And I said, "Right, let's get the vote now. Let's apply some technology." So the vote is in the chat. Tell me what you think. Is it Premier League players for you the Arsenal should go for? Is it players from abroad? For me, in terms of a budget, it is the Premier League players. Because it's the players from abroad. Because in terms of a budget, I could get a replacement to Ben White, leave alone the likes of Paul Torres and Jules Koundé. Those ones are very expensive. I might settle and say I have a William Saliba, 27 million, right? In terms of James Maddison, who do I go for? In terms of a James Maddison, who could actually do that well for me? Could we say probably Angel Correa? So let's say Angel Correa. His valuation is around 30 million euros as well. In terms of where you have Ruben Neves, you could go for Houssem Aouar, 25 million euros. So that is 50, 80, 82. That would, if we decided to go abroad, these players could, and we are spending on a budget, yeah. These players could actually cost us a maximum of 85 million pounds. That means you're saving almost 75 or 70 million by not going into Premier League players. But if you look at the advantages you get by signing in players from the Premier League, I don't think the demerits of buying players from the Premier League, which is for me money. It's money. I don't think there are other problems of signing in players from the Premier League. I don't think. And let me know down in the comment what you think. Any apart from paying high prices for them, do you think there are any other problems with buying in players from the Premier League? I don't think so. Do hit the like button. We are rushing very close to 70. 20 more likes to get to 70, and we will be there very, very soon. So, guys, in my opinion, buying some Premier League players, Arsenal. We need some Premier League players. Look, in terms of a right back, however much Aston Villa might not want to sell, but let us try a Matty Cash. Matty Cash has got Premier League experience. He's a solid defender. He's a very, very fast defender. Of course, if you're getting in a Matty Cash, you're looking at around 50 million. If you wanted to buy a Jeremy Doku, you're looking about 27 million. Or a Rido Baku, you're looking at around 30 million or 25 million as well. And the advantage with getting in, these players is money. You're saving money. But Matt Cash gives you the absolute guarantee. And for me, that is what I want. Next season, I don't want to see pundits. I don't want to see people say Arsenal is still assembling its army to get used the Premier League because they have so many players. No. Getting players from the Premier League and make it happen. Getting players from the Premier League and get the guarantee. Because with the Premier League, you get the guarantee. Premier League talent gives you that guarantee that we are going to work. What we have, the players we have brought in are actually going to work. The guarantee. That is what we want. We've tried players outside. It has not worked. Let us try players from the home league. Do smash a like on the video. Do subscribe. We should get very close to 70 likes very, very soon, guys. Make sure you get in your votes as well. We are at 90 votes. We should get them to 100 very, very soon. We are at 90 votes, and 77% of the vote still suggests Arsenal needs to get in Premier League proven player. Thanks everybody. It really means a lot when you guys actually get in your comments. And of course, I asked a question that you should be answering at the time as well. Is Emil Smith Rowe fit to put on shirt number 10, or should we actually give him around shirt number 8? Would you give him 8 or would you give him 10? Let me know down in the comments. I'll be reading your comments as well. And then the other big question there that you have is, do we buy players from the Premier League? What are your reasons? Or do we buy players from abroad? And what are your reasons as well? 10, 20 more likes, 20 more likes, guys. Make sure I do not disappoint the channel. You guys love the channel so much. And if the only way to show your support is by hitting that like button. Let's get 20 more likes at this very, very minute. Right. So there are two players up from abroad that have been linked to the club this early morning. I'm not gonna speak about them before we get into anything. The first one is Isco. The first one is Isco, and the other is actually Manuel Locatelli. Of course, we looked at Locatelli for some time now, so it's not anything new that we are linked with Manuel Locatelli, right? So with Locatelli, Fabrizio said, actually Locatelli has been speaking about his future, and he said, I haven't really thought about my next club. I was focused on the national team. From tomorrow, we will see what happens. I support you. And he said, I support Juventus. Right now, we are here for the national team, so I'm happy to support Italy at the moment. Of course, that is it was Manuel Locatelli speaking about his future around his next club, and he was saying that he's actually he was focused by the time he made the interview. His focus was more on the Euros, on the Italian national team, than actually on his next team. What we have to understand with this transfer is the high chances, the almost 99% chances that Sassuolo will not keep the player, and they also don't seem like they want to keep the player. They want to move him on. Arsenal is interested, but interest is dying out slowly because they feel it's taking a lot of time, and I'm in support of my club, and I'm in support of my team. Why do we waste time with Manuel Locatelli when we have so many other options? It's been reported by Equip and Litton Sport that we would love to get Manuel Locatelli very, very desperately. We would love to get the likes of Renato Sanchez, but our priorities are shifting to Ruben Neves and Houssem Aouar, both of which are doable deals, both of which are very, very easy deals. So Manuel Locatelli, I'll be surprised if he decided to go for us, as an option over Juventus. I'll be surprised because he's already said he wants to go to Juve. That is where he wants to play. So I'll be surprised if he decides to join Arsenal. But at the moment, I think we need to look at other things. We need to be looking at other transfers. Time is running out, guys. Today, I'm so surprised. Look, today is 13th, and the league starts on 14th. If I'm not mistaken, 14th August next month. Lord God, I pray that I'm not that I'm not wrong. Our fixtures out. Our fixtures are out. Our jerseys are out. The season is 30 good days away from starting. 30 days. When do you sign in these players? When do they cope with the system? And how and when do you give them the socialization? For me, this is the time where you sign players that want to come, and you leave players that do not want to come at the moment. We've been linked with Isco as well, and I'm gonna speak about Isco just in a short while. I'm gonna speak about Isco just in a short while. So please do make sure you do smash like on the video. We have hit 80 likes. Wow. It's been a real struggle. It's been a real struggle. We are 10 more likes away from 90. 10 likes, we are at 80. So make sure you do smash a like on the video. We are 10 likes. Get those 10 likes in. Just 10 people. Just 10 people to get in the 10 likes. Just 10 people. Be among the 10. Make sure the first 10 people. The first 10 people to get us to 90 likes. That will be awesome. So the update around Isco is, and I spoke about it yesterday on one of the uploads. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was the evening one, because I really did a lot of uploads in the evening. But what I said there was Madrid have said, Isco, we are parting ways. Yeah, we are parting ways. Arsenal and Spurs are saying, you're parting ways. We are parting ways with Isco. We are interested. We would love to take him at the we would love to take him in. What are your guys? What are your humble opinions on Isco? As we discuss Isco, let me go through your comments and thoughts and see what exactly you're thinking about the topic. 76% of you are voting Premier League players. 25% of you, 24% of you are voting for players from abroad, and exactly 110 people have voted so far. Exactly 110 people have voted so far. Thanks everybody. Thank you so much. It really means a lot when you guys do support me. I really love it. So guys, let's get into your comments. But what are your humble thoughts on Isco? We are very close to 90 likes. We are very close to getting into 90 likes. Please make sure you smash the like button. 5 more likes away from 90. Thanks everybody. It really means a lot. Phil says, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Don't know what you mean by that, but good morning. Cossy, you're my Arsenal source of transfer news. I'm waiting to watch you. Good morning, Kanchu, my man. Good morning, Kancha. UG, the Gargamel boy. Ricky says, good morning, Cossy. Cesic says, good morning, Cossy. How was your night? My night was a little bit brilliant. I slept a little bit early. Today at 9:30 p.m., we are going to be ranking Arsenal targets. We are going to be doing a tier list for the likes of our Madison, Ben White. We're going to be ranking them at 9:30. So make sure you do check that out. Good morning, Cossy. This transfer summer is exciting. Big up to me, Sang. I think it's exciting, right? I think it's exciting as well. Good morning, bro. I'm in Mukono. Big up Silva in Mukono. Big up, bro, my brother. I'm also waiting. Good morning, Cossy and all members. Good morning, Umaru. Hope you're doing well. Morning, Cossy. Let's wait for waiting for positive news only, bro. Big up, my man in the chat. Bongo, good morning, bro. Big up, my man Saka, a hero. Big up, and guys, thanks everybody who has provided that emotion attachment and emotional support to Bukayo Saka. You guys are the real ones. You are really the real ones. Thanks everybody for doing that. You guys are the real ones, right? Saka, a hero. Yeah, man, my Saka is a hero, right? My boy Saka is a hero. My boy Saka is a hero. Right. Where do I begin, right? Where do I begin? Let me start from here, right? Okay, me, I believe when you give that short number, it's like pressurizing the player because of the record the number 10 has. So your suggestion is like, it could be a little bit heavy on his shoulders. Premier League players are good enough. Thank you so much, Mitsiko. Look, with the Emil Smith Rowe thing, I might a little bit agree with him on that regard. At times when you give these players these heavy shot numbers, it could be a little bit heavy on them. I absolutely agree. We hit 90 likes. We hit 95 actually. We are at 95 likes. Guys, let's smash the like button. Let us see who makes... Be the first person. Be that person that gets us to 100 likes, guys. Smash the like button and make sure the person That gets us to 100 likes. Robert says, how old is Isco? Right now, I think it's 29 or 30. 29, 30. Isco can't solve any Arsenal problems. This is according to Victor. We still need a GK as a backup for Leno. This is according to Ray. Isco is too old. This is according to Joshua. And then didn't like Isco or any didn't like Isco or any or players. This is according to Thank. Big up Thank in the chat. My man Geoffrey says Isco should be a squad player. Okay. I'm waiting from Kenya. Let me ask you guys: would you take in Isco? Would you take in Isco or Milaren Pjanic? Who would you take of the two? Isco or Milaren Pjanic? Because I think it's a very, very good question. Isco or Milaren Pjanic? Let me know. Isco or Milaren Pjanic? Tete says, please, we don't need Isco, just Neves just Neves and Madison. Morning to you, Eric. How are you doing? Isco is an old man, 30 years of age. Hi, Cossy. How are you doing, Memhab? Doing well. Good morning, Cossy from Namibia. Being big up my man Esau in the chat. Big up, Cossy, bro. Saka Saka is a hero. Henry Saka is a hero. Big up, and thank you so much for the strong messages, guys. Thank you so much for the strong messages. Kante says we don't need Isco. You guys are really rejecting Isco. While Arsenal should get Isco, and we see fire in Arsenal. According to Jared's twin, you're the first person who's supporting Isco on the channel. Monica is Cossy. Barbara from Chisasi. Big up. Actually, Barbara. Are you Barbara? Barbara. Well, big up Barbara in the in Chisasi, almost the same location, very 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 close. Morning, brother Cossy, but for me, Rowe deserves it. I think he deserves it. I mean, just like Saka deserved that shirt number, that shirt number 7 we gave him. I also think the same way. I also think the same way, right? I also think with Smith. Wow, he deserves it. He's done a great job last season. How many signings have Arsenal made so far? 3. We are unfortunate that the coach is not deciding, but why to stress us as the fans? This according to that's according to Mike. Abesame Lokonga has great leadership qualities and can be the future captain. We wait to see. The good thing is he is an Arsenal player. We wait to see that. We need to sign you, right? I'll be glad to sign for Arsenal because I'll be able to lay down my life. Big up, Cossy from Uganda. Please talk about the Ben White percentage of joining us. Percentage 90%. 90%. Actually, I've been seeing stories that many clubs that wanted Ben White feel it is a done deal, right? They feel it's a done deal and they can't get him. Isco is according to Football Addict. Would you take him? Would you take it, bro? Would go for Pjanic. All right, you'd go for Milaren Pjanic. Ntege says that means we don't need Isco, right? And then Geoffrey says Pjanic. Okay, Leno is not good enough to compete for the EPL tie. I think he can. I think he can. Let me ask you guys. Okay, I will not take sides, but Kasper Schmeichel and Leno, who is the better goalkeeper? I'm asking that. Because Kasper is not a ball-playing goalkeeper as well. But in your opinion, Kasper Schmeichel and Leno, who is the better goalkeeper? Let me know down in the comments. Kasper Schmeichel and Leno, who is the better goalkeeper? Bambi Saka is our hero. This is according to Jerry's twins. He was given a penalty because he was able. Everyone can fail to make it. Look, thank you so much, Jared. And I think, look, the Prides, they were saying that, don't know what they're talking about. I mean, Jorginho missed the penalty, right? Jorginho missed the penalty. Why is nobody talking about it? Isco 100%. This according to David. Saka here says the only positions we should be focusing outside is who is no risk, 25 million, and can give us creativity. And that right back position where there are great talents like Baku, Doku, and Dumfries, right? Thanks so much. Isco is good, but I think he wants Champions League. No, look, this is Mohammed. I don't think he has a choice. I don't think really he is in that position where he can be so picky. I want Champions League. I want this. No, I don't think. I think he will settle for whatever he gets. Smith Rowe deserves just number 10 with no doubts for real. Big up Henry. Isao says Neves, our and Madison. We need the future players, not Isco. Oh no, what the hell? I mean, he's a bargain. He's a bargain. And Arsenal have been interested in him ever since the Arsenal Wenger era. Talk about Smith Rowe transfer. Nothing about that. There's nothing about that. Arsenal will not sell. The player will sign a new contract, and his new jersey number will be unveiled very, very soon. Right? We are hitting. Are we at 100 likes already? Are we at 100 likes? Yes. Thanks everybody. We smashed 100 likes. Wow, you guys are the real ones. We had 122 votes this morning, and 77 people of you are voting for privileged players. 23% are voting for players from abroad. All right, guys, smash the like button. Let's get them to 120. Let's get to them to 120. 10 more likes to do that. 10 more likes as I read your comments slowly. Leno is better. This is according to Mark, right? Jared says Leno, of course, right? As I said before, we should focus mainly on Premier League and take a risk on right back, and our who is no risk. Big up Saka, my man. Saka is a hero though. Because Saka is a young player, he is still a bright future ahead. There is still a bright future ahead of him. But by missing a penalty means nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely. Thank you so much. You put it very well, Namara. You put it very well. Absolutely nothing. It means nothing. It means nothing for me. For me, he is still the best Arsenal player last season. My player of the season. If look, whoever is offending him because they have a smartphone, it's their own business. They have decided to do that, and we can't reason with them, right? We really can't reason with them. Thank you so much. Point well driven home. Michael is better than Leno 80%. This is according to David, right? Leno is better, but the problem, Leno has no good defense for us. That is the first thing. But I also think Leno needs to be a little bit consistent. He's got to be consistent if he needs to be recognized for the goalkeeper who he is, and I believe he is. We stand together with our lovely boy Saka. Welcome. Big up Charles. Big up very much. Victor says, I take Pjanic, but at the age of Smith Rowe, 10, gonna give him much pressure, leading him to failure. Okay. I mean, when I think about Smith Rowe, I think about Pedri. If you watch the Euros, especially if you're following Spain, because I do love Spain, and how much I do rate Spain, and if you watched Pedri, if you've seen him at Barca, for me Smith Rowe is another Pedri. Those players that have the ability, young players, but they have the ability to do whatever they want. Absolutely brilliant. I don't know whether the shot number would lead to his failure. I'm not really sure about that, but maybe it's a point. Leno is better than Kasper. Albert says no Isco, no Pjanic. We should focus on Neves, Aouar, and Madison. Right? Big up in the chat. Isco is old, and he is old. Can he? Right, this Charles didn't really get that, but it's negative. Kasper is better according to Kancha. Big up Kancha. Arsenal all the way. Big up Hart in the chat as well. Saka is a star. Big up Chidi Survival. Right. Schmeichel is better. This according to Geoffrey. Back from UG. Thanks, bro. For, I just joined. Big up Reddit Clouds. ESR deserves the 10, our 8, and Martinelli 11. Right? If we can't get Madison, Aouar, and Neves, we will be in a very, very good position. And I don't disagree with that. Don't disagree with that. We love you, Saka. Big up, man like Ivan in the chat. Saka will be the face of this club for the next 15 years. And if he has a really good season, we can show the England fans wrong. I mean, for me, it's no doubt. It's gonna prove them wrong. It's gonna prove them wrong. It's gonna prove the Prats wrong, right? Leno is the best if you compare. Now, guys, that takes me to my question. If you know, almost Leno and Kasper Schmeichel are at the same level as goalkeepers. But Kasper Schmeichel has a Premier League title with Leicester City. And if you look at the defense that wins him, because for me, defenses win titles. We know that. If you look at the defense that wins him that title, the likes of Wes Morgan, guys, if Leno gets a good back line, he's gonna become a decent goalkeeper, decent goalkeeper, right? He needs the consistency, and one of the things that are gonna give him the consistency is that back line. That's it. I pray all this signing click and we get back to European football, Champions League to be precise, also winning at least a trophy. Yeah, I mean, for me, my perfect season next season is Arsenal go back to European football. I care less even if it's Europa League. We go back to European football. That will be a massive achievement. We don't finish less than fifth. We don't finish below. Sorry, we don't finish below fifth. Fifth and above, that's another massive achievement. And then we get in the right players. That I think it will be an achievement. It will be a big achievement. Schmeichel is better. That's according to Timothy. Let Arsenal be serious in signing new players to get back on top 4 table. This according to Collins. How are you live live from USA? Kansas City, big up people, all people from Kansas. Saka are all with you from 7 years to shut 7. We are still with you. Big up, my man. What a comment! Very, very strong comment. Please, Saka is a good player. Let's stop. Nobody's criticizing Saka. I think English fans are mad, absolutely mad. Of course, we shall have our show at 6 p.m. today, and we shall have another show at 9:30 ranking Arsenal transfer targets. We need to talk about these men. We could be bringing in shit. Saka did well, and even the legends missed penalty, so it's normal to lose a penalty, right? And I think he did so well. A 19-year-old is taking a decisive penalty after two elder players who are not so old but older than him have missed the penalty. The confidence levels are so low and the pressure is too high. If the last 2 penalties before Saka takes a penalty are in, maybe it's different business. Maybe. And everybody's saying, oh, Saka missed the penalty. The other players that have missed the penalty in the Euros, Morata, we were so close, and Morata missed it. And that was it. He's not the first one. The whole Switzerland team almost missed penalty. Spain, and this is interesting. Almost 10 out of 10 penalties we played in consecutive in competitive competitions as Spain. I think Spain have scored around out of 10 around 3 or 4. I mean, I don't know why people are making it a big deal. Because I think creativity is our main problem. Saka still has trust from us and Arsenal fans, and we like him. Big up Henry, my man, in the chat as well. Isco is another William. Big up Geoffrey. Come to think of what happened, Saka was not was one that bring England down. His goal, the penalty, will not give England. Win Rashford was the problem. So according to Joshua, James Maddison is a good number 10. Big up Ivan. The major signing we need is someone gives passes like Ozil. That's the real thing we lack in our club, right? Again, it's still about the press. Charles says, I really feel Smith R. Rowe should be given shot number 10. As in the next, he is our next star. David says, but why don't we sign a better striker this season? Because Alba and Laka are aging a lot instead of packing only midfielders only at the club. Our midfield is empty. We don't have midfielders we are packing. Our midfield is absolutely empty. Absolutely empty. Like real empty. And we've got to do something about it. We really got to do something about it, right? Thanks everybody for chatting in. Saka is a good player, but Ballon d'Or winners like Messi and CR also miss penalties, right? Thank you, Cossy, for your show, but I have your expected lineup to play today. Do we need it? Do we need an should I do a preview? Should I do a preview? Should I do a preview? People, let me know. I was actually not thinking about doing a preview. Honestly, should I do a preview of that Hibernian game? Just type yes or no in the chat. Should I do a preview of that Hibernian game? In the preseason, is Mohamed Elneny staying? The high chances he's staying. This should be a good season. Season league for us. Not playing in Europe, so as to pull our attention to the league and win the EPL. Right? Can we get Saka a hero going in the chat before Cossy leaves? Right? Please do show your love to Saka as well, and of course tell me if we should do the preview as well. If you love Saka and you feel Saka needs to be strong, do smash the like button right now. I'm going to do that very, very. I had not smashed the like button, really. It's a disgrace. I'm an absolute disgrace. I've done that. I feel Saka needs to get stronger. If you feel Saka needs to get stronger, just hit that like button. Just enough. And many people are saying we should do the preview. Many people are saying we should do so I'm gonna do the preview. Predicted. I'm gonna do a predicted lineup and probably the lineup of Hibernian. What exactly how exactly Hibernian could actually line up against Arsenal. And then we see how things will actually. Okay. Right. Someone is hi Douglas. Douglas from where are you from? Douglas. Douglas sent me a message, but I don't know where you're from. But big up Douglas. It says, "Hi Cossy, I'm Douglas Pamba, and I'm a great Arsenal fan and a great Arsenal, great Cossy's Arsenal podcast follower. Thank you so much, Douglas Pamba. Big up in the chat. Big up. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much, Cossy, for your good show. For me, they should everything to get Madison. They should do everything to get Madison because it's a complete player. Big up. Saka, even a hero if some players refuse to take penalties. Exactly. That's it. Players do fear. Hi, Cossy. I love the show. Big up, Esau. Thank you so much for loving the show as well. Who would be your preferred midfield signings? Saka is the boss. Big up, my man, Saka. And that's the last comment we've taken today. Big up. Of course, don't to give me a like. Don't forget to smash the like button. Who would be my midfield signings? I'll take Ruben Neves. I'll take Aouar and Madison. Ruben Neves, Houssem Aouar, and Madison. Those will be my three midfield signings. Guys, give me 4 more likes. Just give me 4 more likes. If you're in the chat and you've not smashed the like button yet, give me 4 more likes, and then we shall be there. 4 more likes, we'll be there. 4 more likes, we'll be there. Right. Big up Dennis in the chat. Big up Thank. Big up Joachim in the chat as well. Big up Kenneth. Big up Seguia Yosam in the chat. Big up Esau, Daniel, Fazali, David, Geoffrey. Big up all my men in the chat, and thanks everybody for watching in. It's been a very, very interesting show. Obviously, I'm gonna be dropping our preview very, very soon. I'm gonna be dropping our free. It should be the next show coming up. Arsenal versus Hibernian, the preview. Right? Arsenal versus Hibernian, the preview. So watch out for that. Of course, what it means so much for Kian Tierney, but Tierney has been playing in the Euros. I don't think he's gonna play. He might need some time to rest. And maybe it's a time to see Nuno Tavares. Yeah, it could be a time to see Nuno Tavares, but I expect. I mean, it's a game where I expect a lot of the likes of Willock, the likes of Reece Nelson. That's it's a game where I expect a lot. We might not see the big names, but at times, at times, Mikel Arteta wants to give them. At times wants to give them, all the games to play. But I think a game for fitness, right? A game for match fitness. Thanks, everybody. We are smashing the like button. I need 2 more likes. To get them to 135. 2 merciful people to get me to 135 likes. 135 likes. 2 more likes, guys. Let's do that. So I'm gonna be dropping the preview. Like I said, we will have our right. What was I about to say? We will have our rankings at 9:30. 9:30 p.m. We are gonna be doing Arsenal rankings of Arsenal targets. 8:30 p.m. talking about all Arsenal transfers that have happened today. And of course, 2 more shows for you to come. In time, we'll be doing a preview, right? We'll be doing a preview, and then I'll give you a Ben White update from Fabrizio Romano, I think, as well. I've been looking at that as well, so I think I'll be doing that as well. We've got ourselves 234 likes. 1 more like, guys. 1 more person to give us the last like, and then we'll call it a show. Take care, bro. Love the content. Thank you so much, Daniel Brown. Thank you so much, Daniel Brown. 1 per person to give us 1 more like, and I'll say kwaheri for now. Love you so much. Thank you for supporting us as Arsenal Podcast. You guys are the real deal.